Is Pegaxy dying? That is a question that a lot of people are wondering, and rightfully so, because if we look at the price of VIS on CoinMarketCap, then we can see that it is currently standing at 6.6 cents, decreased by about 20% in the last 24 hours, but that's not the worst part. If we look at the graph for 1 month, then you can see that it has peaked at 25 cents, which was insane, and then it has been slowly decreasing, and after the breeding event, it took a nosedive from about 17 cents all the way to 6.6, and the reason for that is that's a lot of reasons for that, but the first thing that we should focus on is the long term. The coin at the start of the project, which was early December, you can see that it was going all the way to 10-15 cents, and then it went as low as 3 cents at the start of January. So it already has been through one of those swings. But why is that? Why is it that people are suddenly dumping all their VIS? And the first reason is the breeding event. If we look at the mint and burn chart, there was a breeding event for Valentine's Day. You can see right here, events tab on the left, we can press on the Valentine, and let's talk about that. The VIS burned 43 million in 47 minutes. Those are huge numbers. They just voluntarily burned $7 million at the time, just for doing the event. But the event wasn't actually that much of a success, because what they have done is release 3,000 tickets that allow you to get a rare looking NFT, and those tickets actually haven't been used. So all the people that looked at the event just wanted to get their hands on the ticket so they can resell it later on. And you can see right here that out of the legendary tickets, only 60 out of 500 were used to actually breed a new rare Pega, and same with the epic, same with the rare. People actually don't use the tickets, they're actually holding on to them rather than using them to breed. And you can see right here the floor price for Valentine Pegas. And if we look at the mint to burn ratio, you can see that towards the end of January, burn was actually outperforming mint, which is why there was a huge price spike in VIS going to 20 cents. A lot of people were breeding, not many people were selling. Now, always at the end of the month, as well as in the middle of the month, guilds are claiming their VIS, and they usually have huge amounts of VIS minted. So you can see 2 days of claims where mint outperform burn, and then you can see that it stabilizes for another 10 or 12 days. And with the breeding event and with the guilds claiming, a lot of people were waiting for VIS to jump in price, because they thought that many people will breed their Pegas right away with the event, and then they can sell VIS at a higher price. But that actually wasn't the case. A lot of people thought that, and a lot of people, including myself, waited with the VIS, and because the price didn't jump or they couldn't get their hands on a ticket, they decided to start selling VIS, which caused a panic, and a lot more people started selling VIS. But when you look at this chart right here, you can see that it actually stabilized like it always does. Even if we look at the all period, you can see that ever since the game got created, you have 2 days of higher mint, then it stabilizes, 2 days of higher mint, and that cycle happens every 15 days. And the last couple of days wasn't any different. Mint higher than the burn, and then it stabilizes for the next coming days. So fundamentally, nothing actually changed. The Valentine event was a huge success. The mint to burn ratio is still very high. Obviously, there's more VIS in circulation because there's more getting minted every single day. You can see right here, there was only like 5 or 6 million, whereas right now you get an oversupply of 20 or 10 million. So you can see that still 88% of VIS is getting burned, and nothing has really changed other than the sentiment towards the game. So people are in fear that they're going to lose money. People think that the game is already dying, there's nothing that's going to come forward, and this is already a dead project, so they start selling all of their VIS. But when you look at the mint and burn, it still looks very decent. One more thing that has happened with Pegaxy over the last couple of days is an interview, in-depth 2-hour interview that you can find on YouTube. There's going to be a link down below, with Corey Wilton, who's the co-founder of Pegaxy, and he talks about the current state of Pegaxy, as well as where are they headed, where are they moving towards. Now they work in a 6 weeks block of development, so in 2 weeks we should get another bunch of updates, and there are a couple of updates when it comes to Pegas. Now currently when you breed a Pega, you have to spend a bunch of VIS and you get a Pega with 25 energy. Now that might not be the case moving forwards. You might get a random number of energy assigned, anywhere between 10 to 25, or it's going to depend on how often you play. Maybe you're gonna have to play a lot more often than just use it once a day and wait for 24 hours for it all to regenerate. They have a couple of ideas moving forwards. Another thing that I want to add is the breeding cooldown. If you are aware of Pegaxy breeding system, you know that the best one is a Hos, and it only has a 1 day cooldown before it can start racing and 4 day cooldown before it can start breeding again. Now this should extend to about 7 or 8 days before you can breed again. Therefore, there's not going to be an oversaturation or an overinflation of Pegas on the market, and they're not going to drive the price down because there's too many of them. And if a huge guild wants to sell, it's not going to dump the whole project. So they are adding some more breeding cooldowns to prevent that from happening. So that's already 2 ideas that they should be pushing forward. That's the energy as well as the breeding and the cooldowns for breeding. And one more idea that they have, which I actually really like, because it's indirectly going to decrease the amount of money that you make in the game without actually lowering the price pool, and that's increasing the amount of players per race. So instead of having 12 players, you have 15, which is going to decrease your win rate, as you have to obviously beat a lot more players, and you still it's still out of your control, so skill doesn't matter, but it's better than decreasing the price pool for the actual race, at least in my opinion. So they have a couple of ideas that we should be seeing in about a week or 2 time, and we'll see how that affects the price. If that doesn't do too much, then well, I'm not sure. I did already cash in on a bunch of Pegaxy, but I'm still holding on to my 9 or 10 Pegas that I have right now, and we'll see how this project plays out. Honestly, so far it has been very well led by the community as well as by the founders. They always ask the community what they want to do next. They ask for their opinion, and they also will be releasing a website that people can vote on. I'm pretty sure it's only going to be the holders of Pegas, but they will put forward a proposal on that website, and then you can vote whether that's a good idea, whether it should be pushed forward, or whether it should be adjusted. So they are working very closely with the community, which is really good to see, and it's really promising to see. So the VIS price has took a nosedive, but there should be some good things coming in the coming weeks, and we'll see how that plays out. I don't think the game is dead at all. I think it's doing really well, and it's even providing competition for games such as Axie, and we should hear more from Pegaxy in the coming days or weeks, as they are growing in the space and they are doing very well, and a lot of people are waiting to be a scholar in Pegaxy. It's not because of the game, it's obviously because of the money reasons, but even if it's that reason, then it's still going to bring a lot of people into the game, and a lot of people are going to hear about the game. So let me guys know in the comment section down below, what do you think about Pegaxy in its current state, as well as where is it heading. I know a lot of people, you don't think that this is actually a game, it's just a project or a casino that's got a race button, but you gotta start somewhere, right? Once this game starts developing and you start seeing skill factor, I think it's going to be a lot more fun to play, and people will play it not just because you make money from it, but because the game is actually good. It looks like they've got a decent team. That's my opinion on the matter. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily playthrough and content, and I will see you in the next one.